Hello guys, you're welcome to this video. In this video we're going to touch about the trend line touch strategy, or simply known as touch strategy. This strategy is based on trend line and candlestick. So that's why I was saying that if you know how to draw a trend line and you know how to read your candlestick patterns, you are going to do well on this strategy. So let's begin. But before that, let me explain what the touch is all about. The touch is a situation whereby you draw a trend line on price, and whenever price hits the trend line for the third time, you execute your trade. Now you look at the trend line I've drawn, you will discover that I have a touch here at the beginning here, I have a second touch here, and I have a third touch here. And according to the definition of a touch strategy, whenever price touches the trend line for the third time, you execute. And if you can see from the screen, price is below the trend line, so we're looking for sell opportunities. So how do we execute the sell? This is where the knowledge of the candlestick comes into play. Now look at the secret behind it. This is where this region is where price touch the trend line for the third time. So I'm going to look at the candlestick that touched the trend line. And if I zoom this and I ask you now, what is the name of this candlestick that touched the trend line? If you understand that this candlestick is a shooting star, and you understand that a shooting star is a bearish reversal candlestick pattern, and if you also understand that shooting star appears at the end of an uptrend, and the shooting star signifies the beginning of a downtrend, then you should know that seeing this shooting star on a downward trend line, because you can have an upward and downward trend line. If you look at this trend line, it is heading down, so it's a downward trend line. So if you can identify that this is a shooting star on a trend line, then this is the time you execute your sell. So where is your entry, or how do you go about it? The first thing you can see here is that you have to wait until this candlestick closes. If you don't understand what it means when a candlestick closes, refer to my video on how a candlestick is formed, and you know what it means when we say a candle closes. When a candle closes, the next candle begins to form, and if you look very well, by the time this shooting star closes, this other candlestick begins to form. So that second candlestick is our trigger candle. So when the candle is forming, you will see something like this. You will see the shooting star. Wait for the shooting star to close, and the next candle begins to form. Once you see the shooting star have closed and price have moved to this last candle, then it's time for you to enter your trade. And the length of that shooting star is going to be your entry and your stop loss. This is what I mean. If I take a horizontal line and I place at the tip of that shooting star, that will be my entry. Then if I take another line, I place at the tip of that shooting star, the topmost. Now I'm expected to leave a little bit space above that shooting star, but because my screen is kind of okay, I think I've adjusted that now. So this is just what I need to do. Place a horizontal line few pips above, that is like 10 pips above the trend line, and I place the other horizontal line where the shooting star closes, and those become my stop loss and my entry. As simple as that. And when that happens, then we allow the trade to run. So the trade is going to run from here down to this place. And so that place is going to be my area, take profit area, or I choose the previous low, which is this. This could be my previous low, so that the trade runs from here to this place, and that will be my take profit. Or I could come down to this place. In that case, this could be my TP2 or second take profit in case I'm on two trades. So this is basically what the touch strategy is all about. It's too simple that sometimes someone gets confused. So this is a volatility 25. Let's go check what happened on volatility 75 and on daily time frame, whereby we spotted a nice third touch. So let me insert my trend line. You know, when a price is forming, this is what we see first. So I'm going to limit the screen to what we see first. So this is so this is our first touch, our second touch. Sorry about that. Okay. So from what you can see, our first touch here, second touch here, and this is our third touch. So let's go to that third touch and look for our entry. So I bring this third touch and I expound the third touch. So you can see that that third touch is on a trend line. So what I will wait for is to look for reversal candlestick patterns. And sorry guys, I need to pinch this a little. Okay. All right. And what reversal candlestick patterns can I see here, or can I notice here? I can see a shooting star. In fact, I can see two shooting stars or tweezer top at that region. So it doesn't matter the one you choose, it will still work. So whenever I see the red candle close, I take my line, I place at the tip. The tip here. Then my stop loss, we have to go above 10 pips above the trend line in case you're trading forex. So that this is going to be my entry point, this line, and this is going to be my stop loss, 10 pips above the trend line. And when that happens, when I place the sell, let's see how far the market went. My first take profit should be this first support and resistance level. You can see that price was going up at this region but was rejected. That's going to be my first take profit. Then for my second take profit, I'll be targeting the previous low, and in this case, price almost got to that previous low. If I had to adjust this was where price stopped at this point. Now imagine the risk to reward ratio here. And as you can see, once the market begins to move, we'll break even and we'll pretend like nothing happened. But before you can take this kind of trade, you need to have experience. But I'm just showing you how the third touch works. Apart from that, if you want to check the pips or point from here to this place alone, that is huge. It is huge. So this is 75 on touch strategy. Now let's go and check a random volatility such as 50. Let's see whether we'll have touch on volatility 50. Remember, this strategy works on every time frame. On every time frame. When you get down to 1 minute, you're going to see touch strategy playing out there. So let's take 10 for example. This is 10 index daily time frame, but let me go down to like 4 hours. Then let's get rid of this. So start afresh. So this is the point where market reversed here. As you can see, it is clear. So the top of this place, this is what we call the peaks. So I join the peaks, and from what you can see here, I've made 3 touches. One here, one here, and one here. It doesn't matter how close they are. Touch is touch. The distance does not matter. So this is another nice entry setup. So let's see how we could have taken this trade. Now, from what you can see here, what is this candlestick pattern that touched the trend line? Is that not a shooting star again? So that shooting star, the length of that shooting star going to be our entry, and it's going to be our take profit, few pips above it. So this is where it closes, and that is the entry. Then for the stop loss, you're going to place it at the top. Remember, this is a 4-hour chart, and when this happens, our take profit, we're going to be looking at targeting the previous low, which is this. I'm talking about this region now. Or we target this low, which is also the previous low for a second TP or TP2. Now, can you imagine how the market played out? Let me go to the daily time frame to see it very well. Now look at this. Can you imagine this risk to reward ratio? And when you enter a trade like this, the trend line is subject to bridge. This was the initial trend line. You can see here, the trend line was bridged. What I mean by bridge is that along the line, a new trend line started forming. But all the same, can you see the market is still going down? Now imagine taking that trade in August, and here you are here in November, you are still printing dollars. Now, entering on the third touch is not the only thing here. Entry occurs after the third touch, which means here is another entry for you, because this is the first entry. So this place is another entry for you. In fact, you have two touches there, and it's another entry for you until here where the market was breached. Now, do you know how many pips or points you might have gathered from here to here? This is on daily. On this same volatility 10, let's go to 15 minutes and see if we can find a touch strategy somewhere. Sorry guys, my network is a bit slow today. I don't know what's going on. We're on 15 minutes on the same volatility. Or let's make it 1 hour. Okay, I'm having network challenge here. The network is actually not good today. Now let's look at this. You can see we can connect all this. So let's throw in our trend line and say which one fits. So on 15 minutes, we have a touch strategy playing out. This is first touch, second touch, and third touch. So we buy. So what we see here before we buy? Now, what candlestick pattern do you see here? That is a doji. A doji is a period of indecision, or could be a period of reversal when you find it between two candles of opposite color. In this case, we have the red and the green candlestick. So that doji is our point of execution. We take our line. When the doji closes here, that is our entry. And here, few pips below the doji is our stop loss. Now, can you imagine? And our TP is going to be the next previous high. In this case, this is our previous high. This is one of the previous high. If you go to the big picture, we still have another previous high over here. And right now, price is trying to get to that high, but price is retracing. Now, do you see the risk to reward ratio I was talking about? The risk to reward ratio here is more than what we can imagine. Look at this, is the risk. How many times will this box fit in between here and here? Or you just be in the trade until you're tired and you exit the trade. Now, not just only that. Remember, this is our first entry. Now, price hit here again. This is our second entry. Yes, because we said after the third touch, entry begins. And right now, price is trying to make a fifth touch here, but it's still on the process. So let's look at the fourth touch. We expand that. Now, what candlestick pattern did you see here? You also saw a doji and a hammer. So that's going to be our entry. And the stop loss below. And our take profit, I will target the previous high, which is this. And price hits the previous high before retracing. So I don't know if you're following me, but this thing is as easy as ABC. All you need for touch strategy or to be a master in touch strategy is to understand reversal candlestick especially and trend line. It's as simple as that. This strategy works best in forex. This is a synthetic index, but it works in forex and in commodities anywhere at all, because candlestick is candlestick, bullish engulfing is bullish engulfing anywhere. So let's take another pair, or on this V10, let's go to yet a smaller time frame. I want to prove it to you that this strategy works on every time frame. Let's head down to 5 minutes. Here we're on 5 minutes. Now I can see a peak here and two peaks here. So let me try and connect and see if it works. I take my trend line and I connect. Now what do you see here on 5 minutes? Is there not three touches there? Despite the fact that this one is close to this. I told you the distance doesn't matter. It's the touches we count. Now, if you were on this trade, what is going to be your entry candlestick? That is a shooting star. So I pick the close of that shooting star as my entry. Then a few pips above it, above the trend line, as my stop loss, and let's see what happens. And currently my target should be previous low, so I get my, this is the first previous low, price did break it, and this is the second previous low, and price is trying to get to it. Now when we talk about target, we can use this, which because of this resistance here, or we can use this support here, this one below, because price reacted to it, or we can use this one here, this resistance here, as our TP, or we use this support here as our TP, or we can also use the trend line. We can also use the trend line, which is this, as our TP. So the issue of TP shouldn't be a problem because you have several options. Now look at, this is 5 minutes, and I believe if we go down to 1 minute, that setup will still be happening. Look at the same setup on 1 minute. Isn't this strategy one of the greatest you have seen? Look at the strategy. Then this 3 touch is the outer trend line. You can also have an inner trend line, but let's talk about the outer first. So I've been able to show you that this trend line works on even 1 minute, because I went down from 1 hour on V10 to 1 minute. So this is going to be, you're going to be harvesting dollars every day on any time frame. This is the best strategy, the simplest, the easiest to understand, and the best when it comes to risk to reward ratio I've ever come across. I know about 8 to 10 strategies already, but this one is the best and the simplest, because it deals with number. Anything that happens to deal with number is very easy to comprehend. So let me take one other volatility, or let's go to this boom and crash that people are talking about. Let's look at boom 1000, because most persons say those things they have their own strategy. If you look at boom and crash on 4 hours, you can see that this strategy is already playing out. On the almighty boom and crash, look at first touch, second touch, and look at third touch. And what candlestick pattern do we have on that third touch? It's a shooting star or a bearish harami. You know, candlestick gives us option to use either one candlestick or compare 2 or compare 3 candlesticks. So what I can say here now is that the green candlestick is engulfing the red. So I can say that the green candlestick is the mother while the red is the baby. And that gives birth to bearish harami. And bearish harami, I need just 2 candlesticks to confirm it. Now on the open, on the close of the red, this is it here. So I should be looking to sell, because this is a bearish harami. Then my stop loss above the trend line. And where am I targeting? I'm targeting previous low. And this is the previous low here. Now what is going on, guys? Is this not amazing? And look at this again. We are looking at this outer touch. Now there is another touch you can find here. 1, 2, and 3. This time on the inner trend line. Guys, so why the first trade here is running? After second and third touch, another trade begin to run here. So guys, this is money. We'll be spending money, and look at how far this trade went. So guys, there is nothing like the touch strategy. There's nothing like the touch strategy. So I've given boom on 4 hours. Let me go down to 5 minutes on this same boom, because that's going to confirm if this actually happens on all the time frames. So I go down to 5 minutes. Or let me make it 15, because of the nature of this volatility, this boom. So let's find. I need to get rid of this. I need to move on to 1 hour because of the nature of this instrument. So let's try and connect 3 peaks. Guys, we have another 1, 2, and 3 touch here. Like I said before, the distance is not a problem. We are counting on the touches and not the distance between the touches. So if we adjust this very well, we have the first touch here. We have the second and the third touch here. And that is it. Now imagine entering the trade here, and this is expected to be our take profit, and we're entering at this place or somewhere here. Guys, what can you say about this strategy? I can keep checking all the volatilities, all the index, all the jump, and whatever you see here. You will see that this is actually something to talk about. All right, I want to stop here for today. I will continue this series on the PC, so that you also have a feel of what it takes in case you're trading with your laptop. So thank you for watching this video up to this place. I will see you on the next one. Have a nice day.